see the egg on my face?
Egg lady.
Egg lady, that's me. What up? Prickly Stitch Podcast, episode 3.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
What up? Who are you?
I'm Katie Bill, also known as Misfit Sock. Who are you?
Misfit Sock, that still throws me off. My name is Haley. I am lock knits, literally everywhere.
She made sure of it.
Yeah, I did.
We are a fiber, fabric, and handcraft podcast from Northeast Pennsylvania.
In the United States. What up? Yeah, episode 3. I feel like just to kick us off here at the beginning of the episode, I would like to say thank you to everyone who's watched us so far, because it's been a lot of people.
It's bewildering.
It's very bewildering. Very bewildering. We are gonna do, at the end of the episode, we're gonna talk about some giveaway business that we're gonna do, and the occasion for the giveaway is that we are going to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty nuts.
It is pretty nuts considering it's only been 3 episodes.
Silly.
Not even. It's been 2 episodes. This is 3.
Yeah. So that's really cool, and that's been like something fun for the two of us to kind of like watch happen before our very eyes. We were eating chicken wings and drinking a beer in a bar in Wilkes-Barre 2 days ago?
Yes.
Yesterday? I don't know.
Friday?
2 days. Friday.
Saturday?
Someday. And I think we like sat down, we were like reflecting on the podcast. We knew we were going to be filming today and stuff. And looked at the subscribers, and then for some reason looked at them again. And I think while we were sitting having beer, like 30 or 40 more people found us. Yeah. We're like, oh dear. Okay. So here we all are. But yeah, we'll have a giveaway at the end of the episode. I'm pretty excited. I've been really happy with where like this podcast has gone. I was happy we got to have Brienne on again. That was really nice and special. So yeah, we're back for our regular nonsense. I think we've figured out over brunch this morning this will probably be a lighter episode in terms of like content and stuff, but Lord knows we can just like blather on and like
we're gonna end up stretching it.
Fill the space.
We want it to be short, but it won't be, I'm sure.
So with that in mind, let's just get into it.
Get into it.
What are you wearing?
Oh, I am wearing my favorite, my go-to. So let's start.
Maybe your outer layer.
Outer
and I'll
layer.
Take it from you.
Let's pop it off. Whoa.
Whoa.
Which side's the front? I think it's this side. Boop.
Bada boom.
Can we even see?
I'm sure it'll be. Every single time I think that we can't see something,
right.
It's managed to focus on it.
So this is the Moonwhistle Shawl. It is an Andrea Mowry pattern. What's there to say? I'm blanking today.
I'm blanking. Well, it's a triangle shawl.
It's a triangle shawl.
I only feel the need to point out because it is so massive. I don't know if like, the frame is doing it.
My reasoning for making it is that it's like kind of a small blanket.
Absolutely.
And it's very comforting to wear. It's worsted weight. It calls for, I think, 3 different colorways of yarn. You're supposed to use a spin cycle and then like 2 solid colors. I used what was labeled as a Fusion 500 pack of fiber. So it was 100 yards of 5 different bases of worsted weight. All of them were like black or gray. So without dipping this in our drinks here, you can see there's just some plain blacks. There's like some boucle yarn in there. There is some with stellina in it. The spin cycle I used was the rusted rainbow colorway. So it shifts between like mostly reds and pinks and oranges, but then also goes into blue.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's some blue in there. Like right around this section, it's like a green blue.
Oh, maybe that's because that part's like always around your neck. I don't perceive it.
It does mostly read orange on me.
Yeah.
But I used just a solid black yarn, that combination of bases, and the spin cycle to make this.
Very nice. And you bought the spin cycle separate from that pack?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had the spin cycle, or I don't remember if I, why did I put this on? I don't remember if I
Smack me me with it.
why I bought it, but I have like a love-hate with the color palette, but it's been very easy to wear this, and I wear it all the time.
Isn't this the thing that you get like a ton of compliments on?
I get a lot of compliments on this. Like, people often mention, I do feel like that's really dark, but people often mention that they like seeing it in what appears to be like a scrappier,
more texture.
It's already a very textured pattern. There's a lot of slip stitches and stuff like that going on, but having the difference in bases makes a huge difference, because as you're working on it, it's like a real delight for your hands. And then like when I'm wearing it, it's very like spongy, lofty. It's fantastic. I wear this around the house pretty much every day.
Also, one of my favorite parts of the process of like knitting a shawl is that pretty quickly into it, like, it's like wearing a blanket while you're knitting.
Yes, it's like having a blanket on your lap. I do mean to make another one of these in like plainer colors, I think. But I wear this more than anything else I've knit.
Really?
So, yeah, I always have this on. This is like never put away, because I always grab it around the house or whatever, because it's cold.
Yeah. Ian likes it chilly.
We like it cold in the house. But that is the Moonwhistle by Andrea Mowry that I made last year. The other thing I'm wearing is the
so beautiful
Stepping Stones cardigan. Oh dear.
Stepping Stones.
It is a cardigan with lace. Don't mind my straddling of my chair here.
I wonder also if you can like pop in your picture.
I'm going to insert a picture.
Nice.
This is not going to work out, I don't think. I'll just get back down high.
Just drop it low on our yarn podcast.
We're very precarious.
Very
with how we're set
normal.
up. Nothing weird here. This is a DK weight cardigan. It is by Rebecca McKenzie is the designer, and I used Valley Yarns mohair and it's alpaca.
Oh!
So I held an alpaca and a mohair together to make this.
Do you feel like you notice that it is growing?
If anything, I feel like it's shrinking.
Interesting. I know alpaca can be difficult with the garments.
Right.
For like the same reason a cotton would be, is it just tends to like...
Right. I don't know if maybe the mohair is adding a structure to it because of the way that it like felts up as I wear it. You know what I mean? I think the mohair is definitely adding a structure. I'm pretty sure when I chose the yarn to make this with, I kept in mind the fact that it is lace, so having a lot of drape and would only add to it, since it is a cardigan that's not meant to be closed. It's just supposed to be like a open draping.
Yeah. I have a question that I've pondered for a long time. I don't know if it's just me making stuff up, but please leave a comment if you have an opinion about this. Also, I feel like when we're making stuff and we're accounting for stretch or growth in blocking, in my experience, everything that I've made, the blocking, the thing that happens when it blocks is almost like negated by you wearing it. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like whenever people are like, I'm only going to knit my sleeve to here because when I block it, it's going to go down here. Like, maybe. It might. I don't think it's going to stay like that though.
No.
Like in the sweaters that I've knit that I'm like, oh, when I block it, it'll get to a bracelet length. They're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it almost kind of evens itself out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say out of all of the things I've knit, this seems to stay the best. Like my sleeves still, like after wearing this very often, like they haven't shrunk up a lot. I still have length, like it still comes past like my bum.
It looks like the day you knit it. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think it could be a combination of a very stretchy, drapey yarn and then a yarn that is getting abused and not, I don't want to say it's felting, but it's definitely locking up on itself a little bit.
Yeah, which is great.
It's this I don't need a winter coat with.
Yeah.
It is very dense and warm, and then that's...
Really love it. We were remarking too at brunch about how like soft this mohair is.
Yeah.
It is Valley Yarns mohair, which is, so I would say like significantly more affordable.
It is, yeah.
Than like most.
I usually get it off of like Love Crafts is usually where I shop for like a larger brand of affordable yarn.
Yeah.
But it's probably like $10 or less for 50 grams of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy this, and I usually wear these two in tandem because with these I don't need a coat. So
Yeah.
that's why this is the old standby, the old pastime.
It's
combination, warmth and comfort.
Very nice. I'm surprised you don't wear your shawls more like that more often. That's how I like to wear shawls, like around my back. I do like to feel like I'm walking around in a blanket though, you know what I mean?
I do feel like this is the only shawl I have that's really like appropriate to do this with. I only have 2 shawls now. I got rid of all the shawls I have. I gave one to you.
Yeah.
I destashed one. Brienne took it. I only have this and my Stoker, which I wore to Brienne's wedding.
Yes, yes.
Which I'll insert a picture of or whatever.
It does feel like those types of shawls that you wrap around are like the big triangle ones that are like really long. Because yeah, like what's the point of a really shallow triangle?
Right. It doesn't do anything. And I just feel the texture of my other one is not something I would wear for warmth. It's more of like, it's classier. I'm not just going to throw it on with jeans or whatever.
I get that.
But that's enough about my clothes. What are you wearing?
I'm only wearing, I'm wearing 2 pieces of knitwear. It's time. Let's just get this out of the way off the top. We'll get the feet shot in since we have to put our feet on every episode. Here's my foot, perverts.
Venmo us $10.
Venmo me $10. I'm wearing my Shortie Socks, which you can also perceive for free on my Instagram. There's a picture of my feet in them, very nicely posed for the, like I said, for the dirty guys.
The dirty guys.
The dirty guys.
Dirty gals, welcome to.
But that was my first pair of shorties that I've ever made in my entire knitting career. I have made what I would constitute as like ankle socks with like maybe 2 to 3 inches of ankle, but like shorties that are what I would consider like socially acceptable to wear with a pair of Vans. That's not going to make me look like I'm a mom picking up her kids from soccer practice, you know? They're like stylish. So we talked about those in episode 1, and there's free pics on my Instagram. I'm wearing those, and then I'm also wearing a hat that I made on my Centro 48 stitch.
Oh, you cranked that hat? I don't know why I didn't catch on to that.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna take it off because my hair is on like day 4. But yeah, I cranked this hat on the knitting machine. I'm a big fan of the Centro knitting machine. I got it not this past December, but the one before that. I use it all the time with like commercial yarns, fingering weight, worsted weight, like hand dyed stuff. Like it's great for everything. I'm really bad about making stuff for myself though, so I've been trying to do that more frequently, and this was something I made a few weeks ago. It's just with black, like plain fingering weight 100% wool yarn, and I actually made one for my boyfriend Nate in the same yarn on the circular sock machine, and he's worn it so much that it's felted in like to form on his head, so when he puts it down on a table or a surface, it's like a half sphere. Because it just like sits on his
So used
head.
to being like rolled up, and
It's completely felted together.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, I would also like a felted hat or something that like has the ability to felt and stuff and like kind of maintain a good shape. So I just cranked this bad boy on the sock machine, and my coworker Tara got me like a little welcome gift when I started at the tattoo shop that I'm at. And she got me this egg patch.
I love the egg patch.
Which like, I don't know how she knew that I'm like...
The egg lady.
I just think eggs are funny. Like, I don't really like eggs that much as a food, but I just think they're absurd and like stupid looking. And I love this little egg patch. I want to make more circular sock machine hats and then sew patches on the front for gifts and stuff. Because you can always find patches at like Joann Fabrics and stuff that are like on clearance for like $1 or $2, and they really just jazz it up.
That does jazz it up. Way to jazz up a room.
Yeah. And then the only other thing that I'm wearing of interest is my only article of pink clothing. Do you like?
That's surprising.
We didn't talk about the fact that I'm wearing pink today, but I like this shade of pink a
It's
lot.
a nice like blush,
Bubblegum.
very like cool pink.
Yeah. I picked this up at the Pittsburgh Tattoo Expo that I worked February, the weekend of the 17th. I got everything set up. I was like almost ready to do my first tattoo, and I was like, wait, I do this every time. I never buy myself anything. I never find any merch or anything. And then Sunday afternoon comes and I'm like, do you have my size? And they're like, no, we can go kick rocks, lady. So I took 5 minutes, bought myself a little something nice. But yeah, I really like this pink color on me.
It works.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have some yarn ladies visit you at the tattoo convention, or?
I did. One of my favorite appointments that I had that weekend was Kim of Stitch Counts. She has a podcast that's called Sip Sip Knit, I think. She is a pal from Pittsburgh. She knows Brienne and I and everything. She's been tattooed like by me now, by my mentor. Like she's just been in the yarn circle for a while. She's so nice. Her podcast is really cute. Her cat screams like the way my cat screams in the background.
Rotten cat screams.
Her cat's name is Pepe.
Pepe.
He's very upset.
Oh.
But I tattooed her, tattooed like a little knitting ghost on her forearm. It
That was
really
cute.
special.
I saw that.
Did you? It was cute.
Yeah.
I was happy with it. Just a little honey guy. But yeah, it was a long, arduous weekend, as most convention weekends are. So I'm happy to be here with a renewed sense of energy after I've basically taken the entire last week off of work. One of the only tattoos I did last week, I'll be excited to show it off once it's not like a bloody mess, but we finished a very large tattoo on Socks' like entire outer arm.
I didn't like it.
It was a bad time.
I said, please stop.
Please stop. But anyway, so we did this giant tattoo on Socks. One of the only things I've done over the last week. And then we promptly went out for chicken wings and beer. And it all comes back together. Full circle.
We've circled back.
We've circled back. But yeah, anyway, that is all I'm wearing.
Fantastic.
That's it. How's your biscuits? Your social tea biscuits?
I was eating them and then I'm like, I don't want to crunch while you're talking. That's rude. But they're good.
I bought these biscuits at Walmart yesterday because I thought they were funny. We are a very American podcast. We don't typically have like tea and biscuits. Like
You don't.
Okay, well,
I do.
my old English Nana beside me does, but I found these at Walmart and they made me laugh so hard. They're literally called social tea biscuits.
We're having social tea.
We're having social tea. So I have a very special like plate in front of us with biscuits and like our mugs on it, and we're drinking some tea, and I'm feeling very United Kingdom right now.
We're refined ladies.
We're idiots. Also, thank you to everyone who commented and told us that we don't know where countries are.
I didn't get my grade 10, so
We can't read or write. Please don't come for us. Where did you say? Norway?
I said like
Women.
Netherlands or Iceland, and it was in Denmark, which is like
Or like it's up there. You know
one
what
of
I
those
mean?
cold countries.
We're such idiots.
I can't help it. If I could help it, I would be better. I can't help it.
Yeah, I get it.
You know? What are you gonna do? We'll correct ourselves when we find out the truth. when we get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who's very nice about that in the podcast. You could have said, you guys sound like a couple of morons.
We would have been like, yes, thank you
Yes,
so much.
we do. But,
Blessings.
yeah, we love the engagement we're getting.
Yeah.
Telling us how
A lot of people have been commenting, and I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate that people feel as though they want to say something. Because
Please.
I don't like if it's like a one-sided us just screaming to the void. I would like somebody to interact with us.
Yeah.
And there's been like a really good supply of that, which I appreciate. Ask us weird questions. Tell us weird things. We want to know.
Maybe on the next episode, I'm saying this out loud so I remember to do it. Maybe like a day before we do the next episode, we can do like an AMA on our Instagram and like take the questions and like answer them on here or something.
Sure, we can sort it out.
It'll be fun.
We'll sort it out.
We'll figure it out.
Ask us things anyways.
Ask us things and stuff. Serious departure from the actual podcast here, but that's what we're wearing. I think
That's who we are.
Finish.
I haven't finished anything.
Okay.
So why don't you show us what you finished? It's a big deal.
Very pleased with this finished object. So, my coworker Tara, who blessed me with this egg here, I talked about on the last episode what was a whip and is now my FO. She is, long story short, small, hair down to her butt, German goth lady who like is the only other person I've ever met who walks around in shawls and is like like a grumpy old tat lady, you know what I mean? And it's her birthday by the time it's out, it'll probably be March. It's her birthday in the month of March, and I wanted to like knit her something special because it seemed like she would really appreciate a hand knit shawl. So I started I don't know how to say it. Farnese Shawl. I don't know. See my earlier point about not being able to read it right.
I can't read it right. You don't need to. We have sticks.
Yeah. And I finished it. So I have a few points I'd like to make about this shawl. First of all, I am so in love with how this knit up. Like the finished object is just, I'm gonna put it in front of the light and see if we can catch, like, gorgeous. It's pretty big. So this is, do you think this is about as big as the shawl you're wearing right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to say I left off 20 rows of the lace pattern.
How was I know you're a gauge lady. How was your gauge on this? Did you even check?
Yes, my gauge was spot on. I left off 20 rows. I did look at the final wingspan was supposed to be like 6.5 feet, which seemed crazy to me.
Oh, that's fabulous.
It's yeah, like it would be very beautiful. I think Tara is like shorter.
She would drown in that.
Shorter than I am, yeah. So I was like,
unless she's gonna take up being like a full-time like woods witch. She doesn't need all of the
give it time, I'm sure she'll get there. But yeah, so I left off 20 rows of the lace chart. And I'm still incredibly happy with it. I don't know if I mentioned on the last podcast, but I did do some stash diving with this. This is cotton Aran weight. It's just like paint box cotton Aran. In the black colorway. I ordered it in a large quantity by mistake. So it's just been sitting in my stash, like waiting to become something. And this was perfect for it. But I was very adamant about like not purchasing anymore because I just don't ever want to end up with like yarn left over. Like I'm not really about it. And I've been knitting for so long that I can like figure stuff out and like make it happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? I ended up with a nugget of it like this big, which is perfect. Like that's the exact amount that I need to be left. I don't like playing yarn chicken, but I'm glad it all worked out.
It's turned out beautiful. I don't think leaving off some lace was a bad idea. It's still, it doesn't look like it was cut short.
No.
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
I was very, very pleased with it. This was a nice pattern. It was not able to be memorized, like in my opinion.
That kind of lace is hard to, you have to change it like every row.
Yes. And then even the off rows, like on the wrong side, like tons of purling and everything. So I was happy to be done with the lace whenever everything was all like, you know, said and done. That garter stitch border at the end, I was like, yeah, let's go. This feels good. It feels nice. But yeah, so that'll be gifted to her in the next couple of weeks or so. I'm very happy with it. I hope she likes it. I'm sure she will.
That's gorgeous.
But just talking about materials and stuff, I highly recommend cotton for shawls. It makes for a really, really nice transitional weather piece. I have a cotton shawl that I still wear in like the winter time and everything.
Is it that point shawl?
No.
Oh.
It is like a shawl that I improvised. It's the one that I wore to Rhinebeck actually when my hair was green. It was just like it was really nondescript. It was like a pattern that I just made up.
Yeah.
And then I did like a light picot edge across the bottom. So just really like subtle, but I wanted like an all black, like lightweight shawl because Rhinebeck is in October and sometimes it's like 80 degrees and sometimes it's like 40 and they're like, you can get
Nobody knows how to prepare for that at all.
And people are like knitting sweaters in August for Rhinebeck and then, just kidding, it's still hot.
We just want to believe it's cold.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you have ever considered making like a cotton shawl or you like want something different than just like your usual wool shawl business, I really, really recommend giving it a try. I always try to like push the cotton on people and stuff because it's just one of my favorite things to work with.
I have that big cone of cotton that I just purchased recently, and I really want to make a...
Pardon? Where did you get a cone of cotton? Did you get it with your other cones?
Yes. So I ordered...
I didn't know you got cotton.
I ordered a bunch of wool to cone from Woolly Knit, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
It's over in the UK.
Is it?
It's across the pond.
It's across the pond. Everything's just going to be across the pond.
Across the pond. And I figured I might as well get at least one black cone of cotton so that I had like some option for something else. My thought was like I could use a cotton bralette to just layer with things.
Absolutely.
I really want like a cotton shawl. I might even make a little cotton top. I don't know.
I really want I have this is a discussion for off the camera, but I have 2 skeins of very nice linen that Brienne got me before. And I want to like riff some ideas back and forth with you. Have you ever worked with linen before?
I have not worked with linen, but from what I understand about it is that it's kind of crispy and crunchy, and the more you wear it, the more it softens up. So it's something you have to like break in a lot. You can't take it at face value.
Yes. That's definitely on my list for this year. I just have to figure out what I want to make with it. But yeah, I feel like one thing that's really important to both of us is kind of like getting past the everyday sort of like superwash yarn.
Yeah.
You know, like we're just desensitized at this point to the superwash yarn and stuff. So if it seems like we're always talking about like fiber content material and stuff, it's because it is like important to both of us.
Yeah, I think it's important. We got into this the other night with a few too many canned Miller Lights inside of me. But we just talked about how it matters. If we're going to have the opportunity to choose a material, we might as well choose a material that speaks for what we're feeling anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a couple extra seconds of thought. But it matters. I like a nice natural fiber, whether that's like from a plant or an animal. But
yeah, that was my only finished object.
all right.
So I guess, do you have any works in progress?
I will get into works in progress. I will do that.
Give me the business.
Give you some business. So
I'll
we're
look
just,
at it.
we're just gonna do a little quick on this. This was my pocket sock.
Pocket sock.
It's not finished. I need to cut in heels and toes. There's a few reasons I have not done that yet. I do really like having the light right here to...
It's so beautiful. I love that color.
It's a really pretty color. It's like a very green blue, like a nice turquoise, and then it has like the black pooling, which is like on this diameter or this many stitches, it's like very pleasing. I don't know how this would look on something larger. Part of the reason I have not cut in the heels and toes yet is because that's annoying to me. And the other part is I don't know what color I want to do yet. I'm feeling very inspired by your Shortie Socks, and I kind of want like a bright pop of something. Like if I can find an orange or a hot pink or...
Before you leave, you should look in my thing because... Oh, Nona. Gather wheat for the motherland. You should look in my stash bin because I have a bunch of like minis that I wound up because I don't really like storing minis. So there's a lot in there, but a lot of like vibrant stuff.
I will maybe peek because I'm not sure if I have anything wound left, like a scrap that would work for this, so I'll peek. How I did this was I did a provisional cast on in my own way. I didn't use a crochet hook. I'm not into that. It hurts my hand.
I'm not into that.
I'm not into that. And then I did the tube, and then I ended on ribbing, and then I cast off, and then I went back into the provisional and then did the ribbing here. Now, something I didn't anticipate about that process is like now your knitting's upside down. So if you drop a stitch, it's not quite so simple to just pick that stitch back up and loop it, which was annoying to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would do that again, but I do really like the consistency I have between my cuffs.
Yeah. Do you ever do a stretchy bind off?
I always do. I always bind off in pattern when I'm doing ribbing.
Okay.
Which gives me like some degree of stretch. I do also like that Jenny's surprisingly simple
stretchy bind off. Yeah.
Sometimes they're too stretchy for me,
Yeah.
and then it looks very loose. So I like try to find the middle ground between like my own personal tension and like what's happening.
When I do a Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind off, I either size up my needle and just do it normally, or I keep the same needle and just like make sure I'm very aware of how loose it is.
Yeah.
But there's always, I'm never just like casually binding off. I feel like I get really anxious when I have to bind off a sock because I'm like, what's gonna happen?
I feel like things do get more tense when you are binding off just because of the way you have to hold the needles and the weight and all of that. Usually I am binding off in ribbing because I typically make socks or garments. I don't make a lot of shawls or things that would have just like a plain bind off.
True, I never thought about that, but you're right.
Yeah, doing it in pattern, like doing like purling to cast off and knitting to cast off in pattern is usually enough stretch for me.
Okay.
But I would do like a stretchy one on like a shawl so you don't have that really tense edge.
Yeah.
I will probably just be knitting a lot of sock tubes. I have a lot of superwash scraps that I want to use and eliminate before I wind up any more superwash yarn.
Does that have any nylon in it?
Yes.
Cool.
Most of my sock yarn is that
Like true sock yarn.
Yes, most of the fingering weight yarn I have is that, and I want to get it out of here. So that's it. That's the pocket sock.
It's cute. I like it.
Do you want me to talk about something else, or do you want to talk about a whip?
As you were talking, I was like, wow, I don't think I have any whips. No, I know. Can't read or write. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
I started a pair of socks, and for the first time in my knitting journey, I am trying 2 at a time, which I think is the only venture of like sock knitting that I haven't done. I've done tube, cuff down, toe up, like any manner that you can. So 2 at a time is new to me. I am using this absolutely delightful yarn.
What else did you use that on recently? Anything, or
This yarn?
or did you just buy this? Like, why did I see this on the podcast last time?
Just bought this from Gosh Yarn It
That makes
in
sense.
Kingston.
Here we are. I've
Yes.
arrived.
It's called Gusto Wool. I don't think the colorway even has a name. I think it's just like 1213. I think they're just numerical names. But it's an insanely like speckled, dirty looking.
It's fun.
It's so fun. I
It's
love
like
it so
a little
much.
muddy in the speckling, but
Yes.
like it's not unfortunate.
Right.
You know, it still
Exactly.
works.
So I have my socks going here. You probably can't see them, and also they're just little toes, so there's not a lot to see. But yeah, I like the way that this is. I like the way this yarn is knitting up so far. It reminds me of like a jawbreaker.
Yeah.
Like really random, like chaotic speckles. I like the idea with 2 at a time that you can get them both finished and there's just like less cutting involved. It's definitely slower, like I can feel that it's much slower. But it's also hard to say because it's been so long since I've tried something new with knitting that I'm like really aware of how slow it is because
Yeah.
I usually just like fly through everything. But I like it. I think it's really nice. Anytime I'm knitting a sock, it's always just to have something that I don't need to like pay attention to.
Yeah.
So having like what is essentially like a longer round each time, like around the needles, like doesn't bother me that much. Like it's not that big of a deal in my mind. And these, I was telling you earlier, but this yarn I have no other intentions for other than having a pair of socks from it. So I'm going to try to use the entire skein. I'm sure I'll even probably have enough yarn left for like the heel of this too if I wanted to, because I am going to do an afterthought heel. I'm just going to knit like from toes up to cuff. I really like doing a stretchy bind off around the cuff because my gauge for socks is like insanely tight.
I was gonna say, do you prefer toe up? And that makes sense why. It's
Yeah.
the cast off.
I also feel like toe up when you're thinking about like using yarn to its fullest extent, not making a tube necessarily. Toe up makes the most sense. I really don't like having to anticipate, you know, how much yarn I have left if I'm gonna like get down to the toe of a sock. So I prefer toe up if I have the option. But yeah, my first 2 at a time socks. I didn't use like a tutorial or anything to get any of this set up. I just kind of like perceived the concept. I knit all my socks on like magic loops, so I just understood how to like, you start a toe, put it off to the side, start another toe, keep it on the needles, take your other one and stick it on there. And each one is like tied to its own ball, so you just pick up the yarn when you get to the next one. Like, it's not, I don't know why it took me like many years to like get it, and I had a lot of people explain it to me and I just could not process it.
It seems a little cumbersome until you're doing it, I'm sure. Also, like a little bit of yarn management, just like a couple extra pieces of thought you have to throw in there to...
But yeah, it's nice. It's a good, I can tell that it's a good, like, mindless knit. I'm enjoying it so far. So, we shall see how I feel by the time I get to the end of these. I can already feel that, like, I'm getting faster with, like, the process and everything. So, it's looking good on the up and up. I'm very excited to have these as socks. Like, I'm excited for the finished product, you know? Sometimes I make socks that are absolutely hideous because I just want to like use the yarn because like the experience of using that yarn is fun, and I'm like, fuck it, it'll be on my feet, like who's gonna see? But these are really cute. I'm absolutely experiencing like a pink situation right now at this time in my life. See my tattoo station, it's out of control.
You're having a fit.
Now that we're done with that. You don't have any more whips that are present here today.
I do.
Oh, did you bring your Stria? Not the Striga. It's a monster.
Oh, I got a little something for you.
Oh, I'll tell you about it.
Get the biscuit out of my mouth because I'm not a monster. It's a lie, I am.
Spit it onto the camera.
So,
I'm so sorry. I'm just apologizing. I said spit the biscuit onto the camera. And then I said
send me $10 and I will. Not above anything.
You think you're better than me?
You think you're better than me? This one's gonna be chaotic.
You know why? Because we were so put together when Brienne was here, because Brienne is like a calming presence, and now it's just two like feral creatures.
You've given us too much, and now we're gonna act out. I got all my stuff right here. I got everything I need.
And by acting out, I mean I'm going to show you the cardigan I'm knitting. Nothing says I'm almost 30 rebellion.
The vapors. Oh, we gotta stop.
We're being bold.
Here, let me mess with my while I'm detangling my yarn. Tell me, what's your preferred cast on method? How do you cast on?
For just like my
in
default,
general,
long tail.
Same.
Long tail. If I need something stretchy, I will do the old Norwegian cast on, which is the only reason I know about this is because I've knit the Ripple tank from Jessie May, and it starts around. It's technically like bottom up. It starts around like the band. And she recommends doing the old Norwegian cast on, and I was like, fuck it, I'll bite, like I'll see what this is all about. And it's pretty easy, it's pretty like intuitive, and it's something that I can remember. Oh, okay.
Tater cam.
Tater feels very impassioned about the old Norwegian cast on. Great, now the camera's gonna focus on her little beans.
That's all right, it's all about her. Okay, here I am.
Yeah, those are my preferred cast ons. What do you do?
I do what I perceive to be a long tail cast on, but it's definitely not. Correct. I think I can tell that I'm doing something slightly off what I'm supposed to be doing, but it gets me the stitches regardless.
All right.
Good. It's like I saw somebody do it on YouTube, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then I just started doing something.
And that was 3 years ago. No, it's fine.
And now it's what I do. So this is my Stria cardigan that I cast on for the New Year's and was in episode 1.
Yes.
This is an Andrea Mowry pattern. I did place a stitch marker. I'm gonna scooch this since nothing's over there. I did place a stitch marker right here where...
This was progress since the last time.
Yes. So I know that does not seem like a lot. But that's...
No, that seems like a lot.
There are a lot of stitches on this little cable. Everything's very bunched up. I have just now arrived at where I would separate for the sleeves.
That's wonderful.
Which is very exciting. I just want to make sure this color like reads, so I'm going to just give it a second.
Yeah. Is there a what the hell is it called? Button band on this?
There is a button band.
Okay.
It's after, though, so you do, what do they call it, like a selvage edge, which one side looks very nice and the other side's very naughty. Don't look at it. But yeah, I am learning a lot. Like, for example, that this is going to take me a long time to finish. That it is very simple but tedious work.
Tedious is a great word that I feel is not associated with knitting enough, because that's exactly what it is.
That's all this is. It's just...
I say as I unwrap 2 yarn balls from each other.
Yeah. So I finished my increases. From what I understand, it's time to split for the sleeves, which I will probably do tonight.
How's the measurement looking? Like, is it matching up with what the pattern says it should be?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't check gauge. I don't do any of that.
No, not gauge, but like they usually say split for the sleeves. Your thing should be from here to here.
Yeah, I don't check.
Okay.
I just figure it out. Okay. You know, if it doesn't fit me, it'll fit somebody on the planet, I guess.
That's true.
I just like to wing it. You know, I'm not here for math. And that's that. I had to wind more yarn. So what I am going to do, let me recompartmentalize what I'm about to say. What I am going to do is stop working on the body. And I'm going to complete both sleeves before I finish the body.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
I don't know where my yardage will put me because I did actually check gauge for this sweater. And I don't remember how it all buffed out, but I know I told myself in my head I'm knitting a size quite a bit larger than I need.
Yeah.
So that it all pans out in a way that will fit. So I am knitting the size 4 for a 43-inch bust. Typically, I would try to knit something closer to 40 so that it gives me like a small amount of ease. But I figured if my gauge is a little too tight, it'll all work out in the end. Yeah. So whatever math I did to check it out, I have it written down here, but I'm not going to get into all of that. It should fit. And if anything, it should fit a little loosely. It is a super wash yarn, so it's not going to like felt and shrink and do all of that. I'm not sure how long I want the body to be. The picture that is like the stock photo for it is kind of long. It seems like it falls kind of like mid-hip.
You might also just be like, I'm over this.
Right, like I might want like a cropped.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I will. It really depends on how it fits as a whole. But the sleeves need to be on first. So I am going to do both sleeves and take a break from this. I'm going to move my stitch marker up.
Nice.
So we have some reference. I do want to show the yarn. So this is a new ball. Now I got all of this yarn, most of this yarn, from a D-stash. Everybody's going to be like, you can't see your colors. No, they're just dark colors.
This is dark.
This is just how they look. So I got 3 skeins of this. It is by Like It and Lace in the colorway Black Walnut. It is like a something, let me see, 75-25 nylon and superwash merino.
Very nice.
And that was not going to be enough to complete this project, but I wanted this project, so I did buy another skein way later in the game. So it's obviously not going to match, which is, again, let's talk about beef with buying these kinds of yarn. It's difficult to match colors if you don't have, so you can see immediately the difference between the 3 skeins in this one. So this is significantly lighter. There's actually like pops of white in this one where this is pretty close to black.
Oh. Dear.
So I'm going to alternate these skeins on the sleeves. I've decided this yarn's going to be a sleeve yarn.
Yep. I get this. I totally understand.
Because that's where it will bother me the least.
Well, also, like, if your arms are down, it'll be easier to, like, cover. And you're going to have, like, a cropped body.
Right.
You know?
So, I'm gonna alternate since I will be doing it in the round. I'll just do, like, probably every other round, one or the other. And if there is, for some reason, some of this left, which I'm not sure there will be, I will save it for, like, the button band.
Yes.
Or ribbing.
Yeah.
Something where, like, plain ribbing where it switches. Anyways.
Had this exact same issue with Malabrigo when I was knitting Nate's flax sweater. And the color is Ravelry Red, which is just fucking red. And I got a skein in the mail that was like, how would I describe it? It was like the color of like an unripe tomato. And I was like, ooh, what do I do with this? Like, where's the rest of it? You know what I mean? And that's Malabrigo, which is like a pretty gigantic operation.
Yeah.
And so now he has a sleeve that has like stripes in it. And I'm like, that's the one that goes on the right side.
You have to choose your battles with this kind of yarn. This is my farewell tour with Superwash Indie Dye.
The last dance.
This year is the last dance. So I'm going to make it work because I am really excited for this finished product, but you can see. So alternating skeins is important. I don't want to say I've never alternated skeins, but I don't because I usually don't have a need for it. I am pretty good about buying a sweater quantity at once, but because this was a de-stash, which is a great way to if you must consume this kind of yarn, it's a great way to do it. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh.
Goodbye, Dinah. Goodbye.
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I just triggered you.
Yes.
What else was I going to say? Oh, in the summation of my rambling, too, I just want to, like, say one last thing about this. So it is knit flat. So the half fisherman's rib, it's no secret. There's a free tutorial on how to do the patterning. Not giving anything away by saying this, but when you're knitting flat, you do the half fisherman's rib. The right side is going to be, your knit through the bottom stitch purl, and then the wrong side, it takes a long time.
I've heard people describe fisherman's rib. I won't even make like a hat out of it because I'm so lazy, like I can't.
How to make ribbing slower. That's all.
Yeah, seriously.
It's really worth it. Just squeeze her. Stop what you're doing and squeeze her.
I know.
It's so worth it.
Next time, maybe an Aran weight.
Right. Well, the wrong side, you knit the whole row. So that's how you do that if you're knitting flat. I'm going to be moving to the sleeves where now I have to do the rib pattern and then purl the wrong side row, which I'm prepared for my muscle memory to just mess that up a lot.
Yep.
So that's also going to be, how we say, annoying to me. But it's a shame because I really wanted to participate in, so like a side tangent, Maria of Knitting in the Dark and Woolen Forest.
We love Maria from Woolen Forest.
She's a honey.
She is.
She has been talking about doing, and she's actively doing it now, but it was a make-along for the Seasons cardigan by Ozetta.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned I wanted to do that, but I am not going to have two half fisherman's rib cardigans going at the same time. I'll knit myself into the grave.
Well, I honestly think too that by the time you're done with this cardigan, you're probably not going to have a need for another fisherman's rib cardigan. Like, this is going to go with every single thing that you own.
I mean, I'm going to make that pattern.
Yeah, but
not right
like,
now.
In desperate need.
Maybe closer to the winter, I will.
You will have forgotten
this
experience.
But that's where I'm at with this sweater. I think my plan, for the most part, is going to be to show and talk about this maybe every other episode we do.
Yeah,
that gives me time to make progress, and like I know my attention span is going to have me making other things in the meantime. But my focus is on knitting this right now when it comes to knitting, especially because it's going to be easier now that I don't have to increase and pay attention.
Yeah, honest to Pete.
Also, I couldn't imagine if I did how this was called for and made every one of these little stripes that I have as black in a different color.
No. That's just like a kick in the pants.
What are you doing? At least I can carry this up the side.
Right.
To have ends to weave it? No. I don't know.
Speaking of like pick your battles.
Do whatever you want, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah. You can't make me.
But for knitting, that's all I have. That's all the things I've been working on is pocket sock and this this tangled mess.
Yep.
What do you have things and stuff?
I do have things and stuff. I had like a tiny little side project that I did just this morning, but I wanted to show these off anyway because these were like pre-podcast, pre-Prickly Stitch podcast, and I do feel like for as much use out of them as I get, like they deserve their 15 minutes. So this is just like a tiny mending project that I did, but Sock knit these for me. When was this? Did you give me these over the summer?
I believe I gave you those like going into the fall, because I got the yarn for that and Brienne's mittens at Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Okay.
And then I made them sometime between then and when did we see each other again?
Maybe her wedding?
Maybe her wedding, yeah.
Something like that.
Over the summer I made them. I gave them to you guys for the fall.
They're fantastic. I wear fingerless mittens every single day from September till April, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's 0 degrees out or if it's like 60, I don't care. So these were very special and they're very well loved. So well loved, in fact, that I put a hole in them. I was explaining to you while we were having chicken wings that when I put gloves on for some god-awful reason, look, I'll do it right now. I do this. I don't know why. I think I like use my middle finger as like leverage to like pull them over my hand or something. And when I was at the tattoo convention, I like put them on and my finger just went, and I was like, oh no, that's not how that's supposed to be. So I popped a little hole in these, and luckily, because the yarn is, this is 100% wool, the black yarn.
Mm-hmm. I believe they both are just 100% non-superwash.
Yeah, they're great. Because they were just wool and they're like slightly felted from me like doing activities and wearing them every single day, I was able to get them from Pittsburgh back here among my travels, and no more stitches like pulled out. It didn't like unravel this giant hole or anything. Like this morning when I mended this was the same size hole as like when I first noticed it.
And it was a substantial hole too. Like I've had a hole in my gloves of like a similar whatever, and it hasn't budged, but yours was a little bit more like something dire had happened.
The size of my middle finger. So it's like what stuck through it. But this is my, I mean, don't look at it that close, you know what I mean? But it's just cute. It's my little mending patch here. I love mending. I think that mending is like such a special part of like knitting and this silly like yarn craft thing that we do. And I really like whenever you can see the mend on stuff, because I just like to look like a clown. But also, we talked about this at the bar, I get very worried that something's going to happen to this now, you know, like this patch. So I really want to be able to see like how it's faring. And if it starts to come unraveled, I'd like to like take care of it before it gets too far. So this was just something special, close to my heart.
That's important. I mean, like, what's the sense in having these things made out of like materials that can become heirloom if we're not going to like mend them at like minor injuries that happen? If
there is enough yarn and room and everything to like make a mend on it, you should. You know,
it just makes sense. Why toss something that still has a whole life ahead of it?
These are like beautiful, like gloriously beautiful. I get compliments on these all the time. I'm like, thank you, I didn't make them. I could have, but I didn't.
That's how I feel when I get complimented on the stuff you've made for me. People are like, I love that. Did you make it? It's like, no, someone else did, but
I know how I could read the pattern. I could do it. That's how I feel about these. But yeah, that was just like a little special.
You can just tell people you made them. I don't care. It's easier.
Oh, what is the, I know the black yarn is your standard like cone yarn.
The whole scarn,
The whole scarn. Do you remember what is this Yarn Hero?
Yes. So that's Yarn Hero.
Which is a great substitute for Spin Cycle.
Right. They were at the Maryland Sheep and Wool, and they had bins of unlabeled, oddly weighted yarn. So I'm imagining like the end of a milling process, just something that they couldn't put like a standard price on, and they were charging it by the gram. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get me some of these because I love bargains and discounts and mistakes,
things in bins,
mistakes, gains, and I just love the stuff that like does not serve its proper purpose, I guess, because like
one man's trash is socks.
If you leave your furniture on the side of your road, I'm gonna come get it.
Yeah, you're a big furniture lady. Yeah,
I love trash. I've been known for it.
Do you have any stash?
I have spinning to talk about. Spinning. So I am on this journey that we mention every single time.
Do not tuck that away. You pull that out right now.
On my little basket.
Look at him.
So I'm on this journey of natural fiber or whatever, and I've been like hyper fixating on it for the past 2 weeks. And I had a phone call with a shepherd, and I'm not going to talk about it all right now, but I am really interested in fiber content and whatever. And Haley has mentioned to me, like, I think you're going to have to go down the spinning road. And I'm like,
makes the most sense.
And being obstinate for no reason. And then I just was like, okay, we're going to do it. So I wanted to just like get to the bottom of knowing how to spin. And I don't own a spindle. Haley's going to show me how to use hers.
Spinning wheel,
sorry.
Okay.
She's going to show me how to use hers at some point. But I do have drop spindles. And I decided to just pick up whatever I had going and work on it. So this is the yarn that was on my spindle when I picked it up. If you are a person who maybe viewed the Misfit Knitwear, I don't even know what it's called, podcasting.
Socks podcast
the
before
atrocity
this one.
That,
oh my God.
Whatever my nonsense was. This is what I had spun on it previously, and my goal with this was to just like make it into something that is like can hold its own.
That's not gonna like disintegrate.
Yeah, so that was the goal with that, and I got frustrated and I decided, well, no, I want to spin with a little bit more intention. I want to try to spin as thin as I possibly can while it's still not falling apart. So this is like the first ply that I did after removing this yarn.
This is so nice.
I'll show you. I wanted to like...
No, I saw a significant difference before you even took it out of there.
Right. I just wanted to have like a visual reference of like having intention with what I'm doing and just like spinning to spin.
Yes.
So I don't know. Can you see these? So this was the old first one where I was just making it happen, and this is where I was like actively trying to accomplish
your first one where you were just making it happen is like pretty ding dang awesome. But I understand. Like I see a difference. Definitely. And I understand the motivation for making something more consistent.
Right. I wanted to, I know I only like to knit with like, I don't really like to knit with bulky yarn at all. It hurts my body because of what I do for a living. So I really wanted to, I want to try to get to a point where I can actually use what I'm working with. So this was my first ply, which was super annoying to put onto my, sorry, excuses for like.
My toilet paper rolls.
So these used to hold macrame hemp string for my like hippie days.
Yeah.
And I saved them because I was like, I'll need these one day.
I'll need these one day, which you weren't wrong, you know.
Right. So this is my spindle now with my like second ply or whatever is happening here. This is what Haley calls my useless spindle.
I don't like it. Do not come for us in the comments about this spindle. I just don't like it.
I love it. It appeals to my hippie sensibilities.
Whatever works for you.
But it is heavier, so as I explained to her at the bar segment.
We're very cool cats at the bar, screeching about superwash yarn and drop spindles.
The weight on this, while it can't hold like a ton of yarn, the weight of the spindle itself does help pull a finer yarn. So that was nice, and I also feel like if I can learn to do it on this, which is like hard mode, annoying to me mode, I can do it on my better, easier to use spindle. Let's talk about my little basket, my little secondhand basket. While this is very like aesthetic and cool, it's also very functional because my issue I was having the entire time I was trying to spin this is I don't like separate my braids. So let's talk about the fiber.
Oh, you don't separate your braids.
Look at this. Look at this, whatever I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Look at this monstrosity of like whatever I'm doing.
Oh.
It's crazy stuff. It's not normal people business.
I see now.
It's getting everywhere. This is fiber from Knitty and Color.
Oh, we love Knitty and Color.
I'm pretty sure this is a superwash merino, which surprises me.
It's not superwash, it's just 100% merino.
No, I think it's superwash merino. I had it written down as superwash. Okay. I could be wrong, but I'm like pretty sure it is, and I'm surprised because like other superwash or other merino I've used was difficult to spin with, and this is like easier, maybe because it's combed rather than insert, you know, carding here or whatever. Oh, look at it.
Goodbye.
It's my business.
Tater will come over here and go.
So when I spin, right, this is the nightmare that's happening. And the weight from this hanging like that, like, drafts it too far, and then it keeps splitting, and then that hits the ground, and it's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this little basket off Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my god.
I met this woman in a parking lot for her wicker baskets. She was very cute. And being able to throw this over my arm with the fiber in there,
It's your little
and then
lunch pail.
string it, and it really helps a ton. It's like just big enough where it holds and my arm can fit through it, but it's not so big that I feel like a huge dork.
And it's still very ooh-woo.
It's very ooh-woo. So that's been my spinning journey. I want to work through all of the fiber that I currently purchased for spinning, and then have Haley show me how to use her spinning wheel, because going forward, when I buy fiber or whatever, I want it to be like actually useful to me.
Yeah.
And I don't really mind if I'm, in my mind, wasting this fiber right now, because I know I could give this crazy hand spun to you or Brienne.
I was gonna say, if you don't want it when it's done, I will absolutely take that.
You will turn it into a hat, or Brienne will turn it into a weaving. I'm disrobing on accident. That's all I have to say about it. That's my spinning. That's all I've been doing. I haven't wanted to give brain power to any project recently.
No, that's a wonderful way to spend your time, especially like figuring out the dynamics of like the basket and your drafting. You said the drafting was something you were never able to do before, and now I've
got it now. I would almost, if we had the space, show it off, because because this is such a tactile craft, if you are a spinner, I think it will make sense when I say I finally have the feel for what a proper draft is supposed to feel like. Whereas in the past, I was like very afraid, and my pressure I was using in my hands to hold the fiber was really hurting me more than it was helping.
There's really, like, the way that knitting and crochet is very like forgiving or accommodating, or like you can choose your own adventure for like tension, and you're like, I'm a loose knitter, blah, blah. There's pretty much only one way to operate a drop spindle, and that is dependent on like what fiber you're using, because otherwise it just falls to the floor, and like that's it, you know, like end of story. It just it works or it doesn't.
Right.
So I think anyone who's done spinning on a spindle especially would get that.
Right. And I think I think getting to a point where I'm feeling confident about my drop spindling, I'm going to be like a woman on fire when you show me how to use that, because I'm not like fighting for my life just trying not to drop this delicate tool. I'm just on a journey. I'm on a jog.
You can spin an entire braid in an afternoon.
Right.
On a wheel.
So I'm looking forward to that, but that's been my main, like, every day I have been spinning, I'd say this week. I sit down with my stupid little TV and my little chair, and I do that, and the cat tries to steal it from me, and I say, no.
No!
And I've done that every day, and I'm feeling really good about it.
I love that.
So we're going on a spinning journey.
I got back from brunch this morning to a package on my doorstep, which is very exciting. So, just speaking holistically about this project that I'm going to be making, in addition to Tara's birthday, my other coworker has a birthday the same week. So I was thinking, like, toiling over what to make Kay. Kay looks like Kim Kardashian. She's so beautiful. She's like very tall, eyelashes out to here, nails out to here, like a fabulous woman. Like, she doesn't need anything from me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what do I, as a common peasant, knit this beautiful lady? Like, what do I do? Anyway, so I was like thinking in my mind, because Tara was like super easy, shawl, black lace, bada boom, done. Kay, I really like, we were talking about, just because like Sokka's met her a few times now. She's like more of a like successorizer. So I'm thinking a very nice like modern ribbed hat. And whatever, I think I'm going to do 1x1 ribbing, maybe like 1x1 twisted ribbing, for the hat. And then whatever ribbing pattern I decide, I'm going to mirror that on a pair of fingerless gloves that will not impede her long fingernails. And she's a neutral lady, but I didn't want to go with black yarn. I didn't want to go with white yarn. So Sock gave me 2 of these skeins of like a gray fingering weight yarn. It's like gray with tones of like silver, and then also some like warmer cream color.
Yeah, it is. It's just very silvery. It's like,
yeah, it has a shine to it. It is
bamboo
and blue face luster wool. So the bamboo is definitely giving it like a shine. So it's pretty special yarn. I'm excited to use it. And I wanted to hold it double with something because I don't hate myself. And I wanted like a bigger, more lofty gauge. So I got these 2 skeins of yarn. I'm gonna hold 1 strand of each together. And I feel like they'll meet somewhere in the middle, which I'm really excited about. I never knit with like undyed yarn. This is undyed Surrey, which is just dreamy. We were talking about how it feels like tater.
It does feel like
on the soft forbidden tummy.
In the colorway Tater's undercarriage.
In the colorway Tater's undercarriage. Yes. So that's my plan. I'm gonna make some mitts. I'm gonna make hat like a little gift set. I got this. I wanted to talk about this person's Etsy shop because it just came in the mail and everything's in front of me. Naughty Forest. This is the business card that she put in there. Sock is...
That's a cute card.
I know. Sock is currently drinking the tea that she sent.
It's very good.
She sent little like pieces of candy and then also 2 of these so cutie pie stitch markers that I doubt you'll be able to see here, but they're sweet. They're just like little snowflakes. 2 matching ones. Just like so dang cute, you know? But yeah, that was a wonderful experience. They shipped this really fast. I think I ordered this like 2 days ago.
Does it say where they're from?
No. But it's Naughty Forest yarn. I cannot comment on what sort of like dyeing they do because I got undyed yarn and I saw it and said, that's perfect. Smash that button. So who knows? Who's to say? But it was a very wonderful Etsy experience. And these were inexpensive. I got each one of these for $14.
Oh.
And I'm very excited to have, most likely have some leftovers. I love like the softies.
Yeah.
Love the softies.
Also, like, undyed yarn is an affordable way to use nicer bases. If maybe you can't pay $30 a skein,
right,
search for like an undyed or like a natural color that could suit your needs.
Because like whenever you put Surrey or mohair, any kind of like fluff yarn with anything, like the color's gonna change. It's not gonna be this and it's not gonna be this. It's gonna be some crazy amalgamation of both. Like just
that's gonna be an ethereal color after all is said and done.
I know. And I figured too, like on a pair of just very plain ribbed mittens, it's gonna be very special.
I'm excited to see those worked up together.
Yeah. So, very fun little thing. I'm glad this came in the mail and I got to talk about it so that you can see like what it looks like now versus, I'm sure I'll have it done by the next episode, whatever it becomes. So yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I think that's legit everything. We have a giveaway for our 1,000 subscribers that we don't have yet, but we will.
We might have right now even.
Probably, yeah.
We are like dangerously. Let's see exactly how many people subscribe to us. And I just want to take this time to say thank you. Thank you for being here and making us feel like we're not alone.
World peace. April 23rd. This one's not too hot, too cold. Just need a light jacket. Hold on. What? Oh, I was looking up rug power washing on YouTube. And I was like, why is this dirty thing coming up as like a suggested video? It's a rug. Oh, for God's sake. We have 990 subscribers.
We have 990 subscribers. So as a thank you to all 990 subscribers.
Yeah, and the 10 implied subscribers that probably will find us by the time this shit show goes live.
If you're not one of the 10, you're missing out.
You're missing out. So we wanted to do a little giveaway. Sock contributed some yarn. I contributed one of my project bags. This giveaway is going to be open to everybody in the world. What did you just say you want them to do? It's going to be here on YouTube. We're going to do some on Instagram later, but for now, this one is on YouTube.
This one's about YouTube and the people watching us here. I was thinking that if you would like to enter in this giveaway, you can leave a comment down below. In your comment, I would say, let us know who else you are watching on YouTube. Who's your go-to? Who's your main person that you watch and enjoy? Because I'm always looking for more people to watch.
Yes.
And if you're here, then the tastes probably overlap in some capacity anyways. So leave a comment below and let us know who you watch that's fiber related on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we will, I don't know, when do you want to pick a winner? Do you want to do it next podcast?
We'll do it the next podcast, so that's like 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
And then we'll pull the person's name and then put it on the next episode. Like, we'll type it out and everything. And then if you can just send us an email after that with like where you want the information to go. We have a podcast email that we'll provide to you later. But right now, all you have to do is comment below
and let us know.
Your podcast people.
You want to show?
Yeah!
So this is what you would be entering to win. So this is a bag not only made by Haley, but it's also made with fabric that this purple fabric is fabric that she designed. So it is her art that's on here.
If you need a tattoo and you can reach the Northeast Pennsylvania area, this is all available to be tattooed. Color, black work, or glitter.
Come and get them while they're hot.
Come and get it while it's hot. But yeah, I have a Spoonflower account, which I've never talked about before. But Spoonflower, the long and short of it is you can upload a design. They will print it as people order it on fabric. So it's very special. But this is my like knit fast, dye warm. There's I think like 4 or 5 colors of this that you can get on Spoonflower if you wanted to buy your own fabric to make something. But we just made up this special little bag, and Sock had some coordinating yarn. Do you want to talk about the yarn?
I will. I want to show the inside of your bag. There's some cute little skeletons in here.
Oh, they're spooky.
So it's just a little cute bag. I really love this bag. I like the palette of it.
Thank you.
It's just like moody, but in a way that you don't have to be moody to appreciate.
It's like a rainy day.
And then we've talked about my D-stash, and I had some of this yarn that I figured looked really cute with the bag. So I figured it would go together.
Very luxurious yarn.
Yes, this is a luxurious yarn. So
tell the people all about it.
I don't know much about whoever's dyeing this yarn. So this came from Do You Knit in New Jersey. I was like having a fit one day and they were doing their like QVC, like, we have this yarn in a kit available, call us now to buy it. And I was like, I'm on the phone.
I'm on the line.
But this is by Ted Knits UK, and the base is a 80-20 merino and silk. And I know you can't feel it because that's not how the world works, but maybe you can if you enter below. It's just very soft. It has like a little bit of a halo to it, which is very like nice. I think this would make...
It's a silvery gray, just in case the color comes up funny. It looks more neutral in person than it does on the camera. The camera makes it look very, very, very like blue heavy.
Right.
It's gorgeous.
It's like a nice... the color is pewter, and I was gonna say that. It's just like a nice, it's got like some variegation to it.
This is a very UK episode.
Very UK episode. What was I gonna say? I wanted to find the yardage. So this is 365 meters.
Why are you laughing?
Because I'm American and I don't know what that means.
That means either. I'm so stupid.
But I figured 2 skeins of this yarn would be enough to make something other than socks. You know, it would give you a chance to say you don't like knitting with fingering weight. You can double these up and make something that's more of a DK. You have 2 skeins. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, who cares? They're really nice, though. I think this is a fantastic little package that we've put together. This is just fun. It's dark, it's moody, it's a little bland, just like us.
It's accessible to people who aren't dark and moody, which I think is nice too.
Speaking of accessible, just so you know, if you are from outside of the United States. I am not a smart lady and I can't figure out how to set up an effective means of internationally shipping things through my Etsy store. So I only sell within the United States. So if you want one of my silly little bags, enter below, because this is probably the only way it's gonna happen.
But yeah, as long as you comment below and are able to provide us with mailing information.
No.
Could be you.
Could be you. Possibly you.
Very cute.
Awesome. I think that's so much fun. Okay. Cool.
That's all we have.
That's it. Those are the beans. Those are the biscuits.
Wow, thanks for tolerating us today. We're
annoying.
We were annoying today.
Oh well.
Some days we'll be more tired than this. Tater's here.
Oh.
Chunky monkey.
Oh my god, she's so cute. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go. We're done.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.